What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Sabby. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Welcome to my channel, Self Mastery. In today's episode, I want to discuss why you have no friends and why I honestly believe that you are in one of the best positions that you can possibly be in right now. I know you're probably wondering what I'm talking about. You're probably at home watching this right now, feeling like you're all alone. Right? You have no friends. You're probably depressed, right? And I get it. We've all been there. But stay tuned until the very end of this video. I have a lot of information, a lot of good wisdom to share. So please stick around. You will not regret it. Until then, also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and or comment, right? Share your thoughts. Or just share this video with somebody that you feel like could really use this information. Without further ado, let's get started, guys. Thank you once again. So I know if you're watching this right now, you probably clicked on it because you're feeling like you're, lonely. You have nobody you can hit up. You feel like you have no friends. You feel like people don't love you, or people don't like you, or people don't want to hang out with you. Or you feel like, life is just against you, right? You feel like that you feel sad. You feel down on your luck. You feel worthless. You feel like you have no value, and you see people on social media, they're out there living their best lives. They're eating out, they're drinking, they're clubbing, they're partying, they're with people, they're having a good time. And you're at home, you're by yourself, and you feel like there's no one that ever invites you out, right? No one that ever hits you up. No one that ever reaches out to you to see how you're doing. And I feel you. I completely feel you because I've been there myself, and I feel like everybody has been there at some point in their life. And I think it's completely a normal part of living life, honestly. But I want to say that just switch your perspective, because you are in the best position you can be in right now. Guys, I know you're probably just surprised that I said that, but you literally are at one of the best places you can be by yourself, and that is being alone, because there's so much power in being alone. There's so much benefit, so much grace in being alone, and I'll share that with you right now. But first, I want to say there's a few reasons why maybe you're going through this season, because this is all it is. It's just a season that you're going through, right? Because without, further delay, you will attract many beautiful people, many beautiful friends that you will hang out with, have a good time with. And I'll talk about that later on. But right now is the time for you to be alone. And some of the reasons are, number one, maybe the Most High needs you to realize that you have a greater purpose. You have a mission that must be accomplished, right? The Most High has, something for you to do, right? This could be discovering your passion. This could be figuring out why you're here on this earth. Because I completely believe that we're not here just to pay bills and die, right? We have something of value, something of service to give back to humanity. And that's something we all must realize and also figure out, what it is. And the way to do that is to be alone, is to spend time alone. Guys, you're not going to figure out yourself in the crowd, right? You're not going to figure out who you are when you're hanging out with people. You need to be alone in order to do that. Because right now you're also looking at the crowd for fulfillment. You're looking at the crowd for, good feelings. You're looking at the crowd for a sense of, maybe direction, maybe a sense of belonging, a sense of who you are. And the crowd will not show you any of that, because the crowd mentality, you're honestly just trying to fit into it. And that may not be who you are. You may not be that person, because you may be someone completely different from the crowd. And that's the thing. And, you're trying to put yourself in something where you don't belong. Honestly speaking, guys, and you're not going to realize your destiny. You're not going to realize your purpose in the crowd. You have to spend time apart. Maybe spend some time in nature. Maybe spend some time in silence. Be there so you can realize, who are you? Who are you? Realize that, Maybe this is a time for you to be alone so you can realize self-love, right? Because a lot of people out here, they talk about self-love, they throw that word around, but have no idea what that word means, you know? Self-love is being able to be by yourself and you feel whole. You feel complete. You feel completely fulfilled. And that's why maybe you're alone right now. And if you're at home feeling like you're missing out, feeling like you're being left out, feeling like, you know, no one cares about you and you feel, you know, this feeling of missing something, then you don't have self-love all the way like you think you do. You see, maybe you need to be alone right now so you can learn to enjoy your company. So you can learn to go out by yourself. So you can learn to spend time with yourself, right? Can you go to the movie theaters by yourself and watch a movie? Can you go to a nice fancy restaurant by yourself, get a table by yourself, eat a meal by yourself while everyone around you may be judging you, may be looking at you? Can you do that by yourself and still enjoy your time, your company? Can you do that by yourself, right? Ask yourself these questions. Can you be alone for many nights by yourself and be completely happy, completely enthralled with your time, right? Or are you seeking love or fulfillment in other people, right? Think about these things. Because if you truly have self-love, then you're happy with yourself. Then you have joy within yourself. You have upliftment within yourself. You have this feeling of elation, you know, every time you're hanging out with yourself. You love to do things so much by yourself that you really don't even need other people to be around. That's where you have to get to. That's what true self-love is all about. You know, it's not just, oh, you know, I pamper myself, I dress nice and all of that. Sure, that may be a part of it, but it's more about a vibrational thing. It's more about an emotional thing. How are you with yourself emotionally? Maybe you need to be alone right now because there's some patterns within yourself you need to transcend. Maybe there's some healing you need to do, right? Maybe there's some past trauma you've been through, maybe some childhood trauma. Maybe you've gone through, traumatic experiences. Maybe, you went through heartbreak. Maybe you went through, being betrayed, or deceived, whatever. And there's resentment within you. Maybe you're holding on to grudges, whatever it may be. Maybe this is that time for you to be alone so you can sort of, clean yourself out, purify your inner reality, right? And really do some of this inner healing, do some of this shadow work, right? Like psychology talks about. So you need that time to be alone. Maybe you should go spend some time in nature, right? Maybe this is a time for you to get closer to God, closer to the divine, whatever you believe in, but get closer to that source of power, that source of energy that you look up to. Maybe this is that time to realize that you're not just, flesh and bones, that you also are a spirit, right? That's your true nature. Maybe this is that time for you to discover your true nature. How will you ever discover your true nature at a party, right? Unless you're on some psychedelic, which is a completely different conversation. But even then, you still can't really realize a lot about yourself unless you spend time alone by yourself in silence, or, just with your own self, with your own company. And so these are some possible reasons why you're going through this season of being alone. Because maybe there's some growth, maybe there's some healing, maybe there's, your purpose or mission that you need to focus on. And one thing I want to say right now, because, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman, I have a lot going on. I rarely hang out with people. I have, one or two really good friends. We stay in touch here and there, but I barely see them because I am super focused on growing my business, growing my investments and all of this, and for that I need to be alone so I can focus, so I can do the things I need to do, right? I can't record this YouTube video if I'm in a crowd, right? I cannot work on my business if I'm surrounded by a bunch of people, right? So I need to be alone. And honestly, because of that, I've learned to enjoy my company so much that I honestly don't even hang out with anybody. So, you will maybe get to a point where you realize you don't even need any friends. Maybe you may be feeling like you're missing out right now, but at some point in the future, you'll feel like you have everything going for yourself, One thing I want to share, guys, my own personal experience. In 2013, I went through a great spiritual awakening. It was the first awakening I've been through. I've also been through other awakenings, on psychedelic experiences and so on, and through meditative experiences as well. But that first awakening I, experienced, it took me out of this, this naive boy that I was, and really turned me into this awakened soul, this awakened man at that moment. And I realized that I am responsible for everything I create, right? I am the cause. Everything in my external reality is the effect, right? And so when I went through that awakening, an awakening changes you forever, right? It doesn't really change you in the sense like, your true nature, because if anything, your true nature just comes out more and more. It's, the false self that slowly dissipates, right? The egoic self that sort of breaks down. But I don't want to get into all these semantics. I want to get to the main point, which is that I had a lot of friends at that time, right? And they honestly they started pulling back, right? They started distancing themselves from me because they thought I was crazy. They thought I was, weird, or I was just a loony, right? And it wasn't that. It was just my thoughts were changing, my desires were changing, my belief systems, my paradigms were shifting, right? And I wasn't interested in a lot of the things I used to be interested in, right? I wasn't interested in drama, gossiping, negativity, complaining, and just, all those lower frequencies, like getting fucked up all the time, being drunk all the time, or, parties and hooking up and all of that. And, there's a time and place for that at some point in your life. But after an awakening, you realize that, you have a greater purpose, right? And at that time, my purpose was getting closer and closer to my source, getting closer and closer to God, right? Aligning myself to that frequency and really doing the inner spiritual work I desire to do. And obviously, my friends were not on that wave. They weren't on that vibe. And so they pulled themselves away from me. And guess what happened? I was alone for a long period of time. And it was hard in the beginning because I had just gone through a breakup, and then I experienced this awakening, which really shifted so much, if not everything, in my reality at that time. And then my friends started pulling back. And it was just a bunch of tumultuous situations, one after another. And I realized that I had to be alone. I had to be alone to do a lot of healing. I had to be alone to do a lot of integration of everything that I learned in that awakening, right? And I had to be alone to fall in love with myself, right? The true authentic self, not this self-image that we create or that we portray to other people, to seem like, oh, we're this, we're that, when in reality, we're not. It's just something we're projecting from our imagination. But the authentic self, in the sense that who we are to our core, right? The awareness within, the truth of our consciousness, I don't mean to get too, complicated in my words, but that's really the truth of the matter. And so I had to go through that period of being alone, and it was like a rebirth. It was literally like a rebirth, and I had to build myself back up by myself. And I learned so much in that time being by myself. Also, I want to say, guys, that not every friend that, you're ever going to have is going to be a good friend. A lot of these people they may be using you for whatever benefits you may provide, right? They may be using you for, whatever perks they can get out of you. A lot of these friends could be jealous of you. A lot of these friends could be envious of you. A lot of these friends could be haters. A lot of these friends that you so-called, want to hang out with, or, you desire to hang out with, they may just be temporary seasonal friends. They're just there for the party, and as soon as the party ends, they disappear, right? And that's something you got to realize, guys, that it's better to have one true friend, one real friend, than 1,000 fake ones, or even 100 fake ones, or even 10 fake ones, right? And that's really the matter of it all, guys, that just because, you have more friends or all that doesn't mean that you have a better quality of life, right? That there's no correlation to that. So don't feel like, oh, just because you have no friends right now that life sucks. No, it doesn't. This is a perfect opportunity for you to grow and build. This is your foundation that you must build upon. And also another thing is, right, you have so much peace. You have so much freedom of time, right? You don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to go meet somebody out right now. You don't have to, live up to their expectations, keep your promises that you made to them. It's like, right now you're a free spirit. You're able to do whatever you want to do right now with this place that you're in right now of having no friends. And it's honestly a blessing, guys. You know, there's so much you can do now with your time. There's so much you can do. And guys, I want to say that, you know, when you're by yourself, literally, you explore the world, you explore reality in ways that you could never do so before, you know, because in group psychology or even in just, you know, the crowd psychology, you're always trying to fit into the narrative of the crowd. Whatever the crowd likes, you sort of fall into that, right? Because you want to be accepted by the crowd. You want to be, you know, you want to fit in with the crowd. And if you think about it, when you're alone, it's like you can discover your own music, right? You can like whatever kind of music you want to listen to, and you know, you can do the things that you want to do. If you want to go draw, if you want to go paint, you know, you can do all these things without being judged, right? Because, you know, friends always judge, friends always criticize, friends always, you know, hate on you. There's always something going on with friends, you know, unless you really have that spiritual friend. And this is going to lead me into my next segment, which I talked about earlier in this video, that there will come a time for sure where you will attract really good people in your life. It may be one person, it may be two people, it may be 3, 4 people, right? That's completely up to the universe and all of that, right? Or whatever you desire as well. But the thing is, for you to attract those kind of beautiful souls that are truly, you know, you can call them your soul tribe, or you can call them, you know, authentic friends, or, you know, real people, you sort of have to be on that frequency as well, guys. You have to be on that frequency, because if you're not that kind of person, if you're not that person yet where you have, you know, true self-love, then how are you going to attract somebody who has self-love for themselves? Because you see, friendships can also be codependent, right? They can also depend on you to feel good. They can also depend on you to sort of, you know, extract resources, you know, feelings and emotions and everything. They can drain your energy, literally. Friends can drain your energy, guys. I mean, it happens daily with a lot of people all the time. So for you to attract, you know, that authentic spiritual friend, that person that's really, you know, someone that you've always desired to have as a friend, you sort of got to do that inner work, right? And once you do it, it'll happen. You'll attract them, because I've attracted people like that in my life, right? Who were truly authentic, genuine souls, and they still are like that today. Yeah, we don't hang out all the time or every day, but I know for a fact that if I call them up right now to hang out, they would make time to see me, right? If I call them up right now to discuss something, they would listen intently with, you know, good intentions, you know, with a kind, gentle, open heart, right? And that's really the kind of friend you want. You don't want a friend that's just there, you know, because you guys are drinking together, you guys are smoking together, or, you know, you guys went to the same high school, so there's like this obligation to still be friends with them. You know what I mean? The resonance is different when it's with a true, authentic friend compared to someone that's just there for the fun, you know? But it's completely possible, guys. But go through this period of being alone right now. It's completely okay if you have no friends. I think it's completely a blessing, guys. And, you know, I'm super happy that you're at that place right now, because there's so much now that you can do. There's so many different places you can go to now, so many different routes you can take. You know, finally get on your path, start your journey to whatever it is that you desire, right? But anyways, this is the video for today. I hope you got some good information, some good wisdom out of all of this. I pray that you guys attract the best people that you can possibly attract in your life. And I know for a fact it's going to happen. And I send my blessings to you all. But don't forget to share with anybody that you feel like could really use this video right now. Maybe they're going through a dark period in their life. Maybe they're going through a period of depression because they feel alone or lonely. Please share this video with them. Like the video, comment if you have any thoughts, suggestions for any upcoming topics or videos. And also, please subscribe to my channel, guys. I really appreciate the support and love from you all. But that's it for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, peace, and much love.